the subject is Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna Sutta, 4 foundations of mindfulness. So we have the words foundation and mindfulness. First, we need to understand what mindfulness is. All yogis have been practicing mindfulness for years, but sometimes when we asked, what is mindfulness? We may not be able to give a satisfactory answer. Mindfulness is the translation of the Pali words sati. In this sutta, you encounter many times satima, atapi. This discourse is called Satipaṭṭhāna. So you have the words sati there. Sati is translated as mindfulness. Maybe there is no better words for it. Sati literally means remembering, but it covers more than remembering actually. Etymologically, sati means remembering, but in normal usage, sati means more than that. Sati is defined in the commentaries as remembering, and the characteristics of sati is said to be apilapana lakkhana, non-wobbling. Apilapana. That means not floating on the surface. If it is sati, sati must not be superficial. Sati must go deep into the namarupa, go deep into the objects instead of just floating on the surface. That is why we understand full awareness of the object or thorough awareness of the object. Sati is said to have the function of not losing the object. As long as there is sati, as long as there is mindfulness, we do not lose that object. We do not forget that object. Asamosa rasa. You do not forget that object. Mindfulness, the function of not losing the namarupa, not forgetting the objects. It is like a guard at the gate. Araka Bichupatana, guard at the gate. So that is what we call mindfulness. Mindfulness is not superficial awareness. It is a deep and thorough awareness of the object. We say a bimukha bhava bichupatana. Foundations of mindfulness means actually setting up of mindfulness or firmly established mindfulness or mindfulness firmly established. The Pali word Satipatthāna is translated as foundations of mindfulness, but we must understand that it means setting up of a firm mindfulness or establishing a firm mindfulness. So the practice of establishing firm mindfulness is called foundation of mindfulness, Satipatthāna. In this discourse of Mahāsatipaṭṭhāna, Buddha said that there are 4 foundations of mindfulness. When you practice vipassana meditation, you practice all these 4 foundations of mindfulness, but you practice them at random and not one after another in the order given in the discourse. That is because when you practice vipassana meditation, you have to be mindful of the object at the present moment. You cannot afford not to be mindful of the object at the present moment. The object at the present moment can be any one of the 4, Kaya, Vedana, Citta, Dhamma. Kaya, body, Vedana, feeling, Citta, consciousness, and Dhamma. The objects can be any one of these 4. Sometimes the body, Kaya, sometimes feeling, Vedana, sometimes consciousness, Citta, and sometimes Dhamma objects. So you have to take these objects as they come. You have no choice. That is why sometimes vipassana meditation is called choiceless awareness. That means you have no choice. You just have to take what is presented to you. So you practice these 4 foundations of mindfulness at random when you practice vipassana meditation. Here in the summary, the Buddha taught us how to practice the 4 foundations of mindfulness. So what are the 4? Herein, a practitioner monk dwells contemplating the body in the body, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, overcoming covetousness and grief, or removing covetousness and grief in the world. Ida bhikkhave bhikkhu, kaye kayanupasi vihirati atapi sambhajano satima vineya loke abhijja domanasam. It is a very short sentence, but it has many meanings. We recite many times, but we do not understand that short sentence. Kaye kayanupasi viharati, contemplating the body in the body. What that means? Body in the body. Contemplating the body in the body means when a practitioner monk practices mindfulness of the body, he is precise. He contemplates the body in the body, and he does not contemplate the feeling in the body, or he does not contemplate the person in the body, and so on. Now, when you practice sitting meditation, sitting, you can be aware of stiffness, tension. When you practice sitting meditation, you can discover you do not contemplate the person. Stiffness is not the person. Tension is not the person. So when you practice, when you contemplate the rupa, when you contemplate the kaya, you need to contemplate the body in the body. You discover the softness or hardness or the stiffness when you practice sitting meditation. When you know the rising and falling of the abdomen, what you contemplate? You contemplate the person in the body? No. You focus on the rising and falling of the abdomen from the beginning to the end. And you discover the movement, tension. Yes, that is kaya or rupa. When you contemplate the rising and falling of the abdomen, that is my abdomen, that is the person, so and so. It is not Satipatthāna. So you contemplate the body in the body, and you do not contemplate the feeling in the body, you do not contemplate the person in the body, and so on. So you contemplate the body in the body. In order to have a precise object, Buddha repeated the words Kaye Kayanupasi, Vedanasu Vedananupasi, Chaite Chaitanupasi, Dhammesu Dhammanupasi. So Buddha repeated the words Kaye Kaya, Vedanasu Vedana, Chaite Chaita, Dhammesu Dhamma in these sentences. So that means yogi is precise in his mindfulness of the body. Yogi is precise in his mindfulness of feeling. Yogi is precise in his mindfulness of consciousness. Yogi is precise in his mindfulness of the dhammas. So when you practice kaya nupassana, body contemplation, you are ardent. You are clearly comprehending that Namarupa, and you are mindful. Kaya kaya nupasi virati atapi. With regard to the word ardent, we do not know what other meaning it carries in English. The what is the translation of the Pali words atapi. Sometimes we lose something when we translate from one language to another. The word atapi comes from the words atapa. Atapa means heat of the sun. Heat of the sun can heat up things so that things become withered and they may even burn. So in the same way, your effort heats up mental defilements, or your effort burns mental defilements up. So it is called atapa in Pali, and yogi who has atapa, who had other energy, is called atapi. Atapa and E, what's mean E? E means possession. So yogi who possesses atapa is called atapi. When we read the Sutta in Bali and when we read the word atapi, we have that in our mind. We see the effort burning up the mental defilements. When you translate these words into English as ardent, you lose that image. So atapi means yogi makes real effort, not a slack effort. You make a real effort to be mindful and to clearly comprehend. You know how Buddha practiced in the Uruvela forest. When the Buddha stayed a bodhisattva, sat down under a bodhi tree to practice to become the fully enlightened Buddha, he made a very firm adhitthana resolution in his mind. May my skin, sinews and bones remain, and may my flesh and blood dry up, but I will not stop from this superhuman effort, or I will not give up this superhuman effort until I reach Buddhahood. I will not get up from this seat until I reach Buddhahood. I will make every effort to achieve my aim. Such an effort is called the right effort. So to make the right effort means you have to make a really good effort, not a slackeny effort. This what atapi implies all these meanings. The right effort to be understood here is the right effort that is one of the 8 factors of the path. You may have read about right effort in other books. Right effort means to remove unwholesome mental states, to avoid unwholesome mental states, and to acquire and cultivate wholesome mental states. In order to resist unwholesome mental states, in order to resist evil, yogi need mental effort. If you do not make effort, you cannot resist evil. Your effort is very useful in resisting unwholesome mental states or in removing unwholesome states, and also to cultivate wholesome mental states. To develop wholesome mental states, you need effort. If you do not make effort, you do not come to the meditation center. If you do not want to make effort, you do not look for the time to practice, and you do not come to retreat at all. So you need a real strong effort to practice the foundations of mindfulness. So when you practice sitting, sometimes you note rising, falling, sitting, etc. Sometimes the object is very subtle. Yogi have not too much clear object. At the time, yogi start to wonder. So at that moment, yogi need more effort to practice. So walking meditation within 1 hour, you have to put mental energy, you have to put mental effort, every steps, so that your mindfulness can capture the true Nama-rupa. So yogi need a real strong effort to practice the 4 foundations of mindfulness. Here also Buddha described the monk practitioner as being ardent, which means he has the kinds of effort that burns up the mental defilements. That is indicated by the word atapi in the Pali text. Kaye kayanupasi viharati atapi sambhajano. The word sambhajano, clear comprehending. Clearly comprehending means clearly seeing whatever objects you put your mind on, you see Namarupa clearly. What does clearly mean? You see this Namarupa thoroughly. You see this Namarupa with wisdom. when you concentrate on the abdomen, for instance, rising and falling of the abdomen, you see the rising clearly. You see the rising distantly from the falling. Rising and falling is totally different. The first rising, totally gone. And then falling is also gone totally. So you see the rising distantly from falling and rising, falling distantly from rising. And also you see that rising movement arises and disappears. And that at the moment there are only kaya, the movement, and citta, the awareness of the movement. And no other things to be called a person or an individual. So in this way you understand that is called sambhajano, clear comprehension. When you have clear comprehension about something, you know that Namarupa and all its aspects. And also according to the teaching of the Buddha, you know that they are just the rupa or kaya observed, and nama that observes, and none other which you could call a person or an individual, a man or a woman. If you see in this way, your comprehension is clear. It is clear comprehension, sambhajano. This clear comprehension will come only after some time, not right at the beginning of your practice. You practice mindfulness, but right at the beginning, you may not even see the rising and falling of the abdomen clearly. Sometimes they are mixed together and very vague. But you practice diligently. Little by little, with the growth of your concentration and practice, you will see the Namarupa more and more clearly. And then also they are arising and disappearing, and so on. So this clear comprehension comes not right at the beginning of your practice, but after you have gained some experience. In order for this clear comprehension to arise, we need one more thing. Although it is not mentioned in this discourse, we need one more thing. What is this? That is samadhi, concentration. Without concentration, clear comprehension cannot come. What is concentration? Concentration is a mental state, is a mental factors which keeps the components of mind squarely on the object and does not let them go to other objects. That is what we call concentration. It is usually described as the mind being able to be on an object for a long period of time. For example, if you take the abdomen as an object, your mind is on the abdomen, and your mind does not go anywhere else. That is what we call concentration. Actually, at every moment, also the mental factors, which is called concentration, keeps your mind and its components unified on the object. It keeps them together and does not let them go to another object. This concentration is essential for clear comprehension to arise. Without this concentration, we cannot hope to see Namarupa clearly. We cannot hope to get clear comprehension. When we get concentration, our mind comes down and becomes quiet, and that is the time when we begin to see Namarupa. It is like, say, water. At first there is dirt or there is mud in the water, and so you cannot see through the water. But when the dirt or mud settle down and the water becomes clear, you can see through it. So mind needs to be like the water, settled, because there are many dirt or many mental defilements in our mind. So long as our minds are contaminated by mental defilements, we're going to see things clearly. So we need to suppress, or we need to let these mental defilements, which are called nivarana, mental hindrances, settle down. So that we can see clearly. When we get concentration, we will be able to keep these mental hindrances settled. When the mental hindrances, nivaranas, are subdued or settled, our mind becomes clear, and it is time when clear comprehension or the true knowledge of Namarupa arises. In order to get clear comprehension, we need concentration. And concentration is not mentioned in this sentence. Kaye kayanupasi viharati atapi sambhajano satima vineya loke bejadomnasan. There is no concentration in this sentence. But we must take it that concentration is also included in this passage of the Buddha. Because without concentration, we cannot get clear comprehension. Sometimes some words may be left out, but we have to understand them as mentioned through inference. Anumana. Let's say there is a flat rock and a hunter is following a deer and he sees footprints on one side. But on the flat rock itself, he does not see any footprints. And again, he sees the footprints on the other side. So from this, the hunter infers that the deer must have run across the flat rock. The hunter sees the beginning and he sees the end. So he infers the middle. The deers must have run on the rock. In the same way, here, to be mindful is the beginning, and clear comprehension is something like the end. So when these two are mentioned, the middle is also virtually mentioned, because without the middle, without the concentration, there can be no clear comprehension, there can be no wisdom. And the last word here is satima, mindful. Mindfulness is put last here, but actually in practice, mindfulness should come after atapi, ardent. So you make effort, so you have mindfulness, and you have mindfulness, so you have concentration, and concentration leads to clear comprehension. So that is sati, effort, sati, mindfulness, and concentration. These three are in the group of samadhi. Samadhi making sama vayama, sama sati, sama samadhi. Right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration are in the group of samadhi making. So in the practice, you're not lazy and you put energy. You practice diligently, then mindfulness will arise. Mindfulness will be produced, and then concentration will come. So it is like the 3% went to the forest to pick flowers. The tree little bit high, so they cannot pick the flowers individually. So stoneman needed. Stoneman, he have to bend his back. Another man have to stand on his back. And not very stable. So the last one have to support these two. So 3% work together. The first man bend his back, and another man stand on his back, and the last one support these 2%, 2 men. Then the man on the back of another person can pick the flowers smoothly. So in the same way, the person who picked the flowers is similar to or the person who make his bag as a bench is similar to virya, atapa, or right effort. The person who stand on his back and pick up the flowers, pick the flower is similar to samadhi, concentration. Another person who support these 2% to be stable is similar to mindfulness. So virya, sati, and samadhi, they work together, and then clear comprehension will come out. So you make effort, so you have mindfulness, and you have mindfulness, so you have concentration, and concentration leads to clear comprehension. So you have mindfulness here, but we have already defined mindfulness, so we do not need to define it again. So a practitioner monk dwells contemplating the body in the body. A monk practices the foundations of mindfulness on the body, being ardent, making true effort, being mindful, and being thoroughly aware of the object and having concentration and clear comprehension. So how many components do you have now? When you practice, first, atapi, you have ardent. Viriya is one component. And sambhajano, clear comprehension, is another component. And then concentration, samadhi, is yet another, and mindfulness, another. So you have 4 mental states here. These 4 mental states are the components of the practice. So when you practice, there must be these 4 mental states working together harmoniously. But there is one more mental state which is not mentioned here. That is saddha, faith or confidence. Confidence or faith is also an important factor, because if we do not have confidence, if we do not have faith in this practice, we do not practice. We do not really have blind faith, but we have faith, we have confidence in the Buddha and his teaching. This teacher Buddha is true Buddha, and his teaching is true. We believe that just by paying attention to these namarupa, we'll be able to see the true nature of namarupa, the impermanent nature, unsatisfactory nature, and non-self nature. So we should have that much confidence, because without confidence, no one can be successful. So confidence is also a part of our practice of meditation, and although it is not actively operating at the moment of meditation or practice of mindfulness, saddha, confidence of faith, is still there working harmoniously with the other factors. So altogether we get 5 factors, and these are the 5 factors that are called 5 mental faculties. In Pali they are called indriya, satindriya, virindriya, satindriya, satta, viriya, sati, samadhi, and pinya. Satta, viriya, sati, samadhi, and pinya. So meditation teachers are fond of talking about these 5 factors. These 5 factors must be working simultaneously and harmoniously with each other if we are to have a good practice of meditation. So in the beginning, we may be lacking in clear comprehension, but later when our concentration develops, we will be able to see Namarupa clearly and so on. And these 5 components will be working in harmony. What if these indriya do not work in harmony? We are lost. When we are practicing, especially important is the balance of viriya and samadhi, effort and concentration. If effort and concentrations are not balanced, if there is an excess of viriya effort or the other concentration, we are lost. Our meditation is nothing. So we continue this week. We have to stop our discourse for today by practicing Satipatthana Vipassana meditation, by contemplating Kaya Vedana Citta Dhamma, body, feeling, consciousness and Dhamma, by noting, rising, falling, sitting, touching, seeing, hearing. That means by observing the Upadana Khanda, the 5 aggregates of clinging. May all yogis be liberated from all suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future.